Hi, I'm Dr. Margriet Barnard, your host of the Birth and Baby Show, brought to you by Sister Lillian Center and Sensitive Midwifery. We empower moms, midwives, and birth workers to have the best birthing and parenting experience through natural, physiological, and intuitive care, resulting in birth and baby advice you can trust. This episode is sponsored by Zinplex, one of the market leaders for more than 2 decades. Zinplex provides quality and affordable products, and it's trusted by moms and midwives alike. Visit zinplex.co.za and get your hands on these products. Zinplex, a healthier way of life. In this episode, I have a very special guest, and her name is Ester. Ester is a colleague and a friend. She's also an independent midwife, and we are going to be tackling the topic of water birth. For some of you that know me well, we all know I'm a true water woman. I love to surf and I love to immerse myself in water, so I totally connect with water births. I also have lots of experience in and around doing them. But Esther is also very passionate about it, and I thought, let's talk with her and unpack this topic. It's going to be an interesting one. Esther, I'm so excited that you're with me today. I know you personally as a beautiful friend and a colleague, and I know you've got such a beautiful midwife heart, so much experience. So thank you for wanting to share it with the wider world.
It's a pleasure being here today. Yes.
Awesome. So Esther, you are specifically passionate about water birth.
Yes.
And you obviously have lots of experience with them. Mm-hmm. So no better person to just talk about water birth, and many people have questions about it,
yes.
Are wanting it maybe. Mm-hmm. It sounds romantic maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so let's unpack water birth. What is a water birth?
So a water birth, for me, it's just another way of giving birth. It really makes a big difference for the moms. Yes, moms do sometimes think it's romantic and fancy and the Instagram photos and all of that, but it's really just another way of helping moms through labor and giving birth to their babies and keeping them relaxed. And it's really beautiful. It's a beautiful experience to share with moms and babies having a water birth.
Yeah. So it's just another way of birth, but the birth is the same, right?
The birth is the same. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So it's like basically just birthing through water.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've done a lot of water births.
Yes, I've probably been doing water births for about at least 7 years now. So do you remember in the beginning you do think as if it's a new way of birthing, but like I say, in the end, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's mom does all the hard work. You there to support. You there to watch out and look out that things go as they're supposed to go. But yeah, mom does all the hard work in the end.
Exactly, and I need all that support.
Yes.
Do you find that there's more interest in water birth?
A lot of interest in water birth, yes. I think moms are also moving and doing their research and seeing what can we do to help the process, to make it more enjoyable for themselves, more relaxable. Yes, so we do get a lot of interest in water birth.
Yeah, because I think we've come a long way with that. In the back in the days, it was quite almost a bit frowned upon.
Yes.
We still have to face that resistance here and there,
yes.
But it's become such more of a norm, and people look on Instagram, as you said, they do their research and come across these options.
Yeah.
So what would be the benefits, if we can say, of water birth?
Yeah, so benefits from water birth would definitely be the relaxation. So we know if we're had a hectic day, our bodies are tired, our bodies are in pain, we get into a nice warm bath and go soak in the bath. So firstly, the bath would be for pain relief and for relaxation. And we know that when moms are relaxed and calm during labor, they do better and they cope well with the contractions and they manage to get through the contractions well. Water is also a way of releasing our natural pain relief that our body gives, the endorphins. So it's pain relief, it's relaxation, it's the cycle of relaxing, and then the pain is better, and then you relax more. So yeah, so that's one of the other benefits. Also, that mom is just able to move around more in the bath. So because you're a bit more buoyant in the bath, mom can easily move from one position to another position. Sometimes you get that the moms want to sit back and relax and rest during a contraction, but in the contraction they need to be on their knees forward because that's what feels comfortable for them. And in the bath it's just easy for them to move from that one position to in the next position. Even to be in a squat can be quite strained on your body if you're outside of in the bath. But in the bath, it's just a bit easier for them because the weight is supported. So
yeah, you're more weightless.
You're more weightless.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything is uncomfortable when you're in that stage of pregnancy and in labor. To move around can be very uncomfortable and painful. Yeah, so it's relaxation, it's the effect of water makes us relax. And some people are really, I can imagine, by nature, water people. Not everyone loves a bath, but especially people loves naturally to have a bath. They would love the idea of a water birth, right?
It still has the same effect on them, whether you like a bath or not. It helps.
It helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another benefit is it can also help with the perineal tearing in the end. So the warm water makes the perineum soft and stretchable, and it can prevent tears. It can even, helps the moms tear less. So,
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And for you as a midwife, does it help you at all, or is it more uncomfortable? Or
I think it depends on what type of bath you have. I do remember in the early days I would get in all sorts of strange positions to try and support the mom. But now these days we've got so much more options available in terms of whether it is getting a bath for a home birth or where it's the birth facility. We've got more options now. And I think we've kind of figured out which bath also works for the midwife and for the mom. So yes, I don't know, I just like it because you can just really see the effect that it has on the mom.
Yes.
The way she relaxes, the way they sometimes even doze off and sleep in between the contractions. So that really, I love to see that. And we just get on. We do what we need to do as midwives, right?
Exactly, yes. I remember for me, my first water births were really because moms ask for it. So as midwives, we do what moms want. That's woman-centered care in this essence, right? It was quite uncomfortable. Like you're a little bit out of your comfort zone, when you start off as a midwife.
Yes.
But I've just grown to love it also because of the effect I've seen it has on the moms and the births. I totally witness off with that one, and we just get on with it.
We just get on with it. I think as we're starting to learn more and get more information about home births and more research and water births and research, we're also learning more and more and more. But I do remember not feeling like it's not so much different to a normal, as we call it, dry land vaginal birth. Exactly. In fact, I felt we were more hands-off when we had a water birth. You can just let the mom relax and do her own thing.
It's just better.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so for the ones that are wondering, because there are some still myths out there, or fears, perceived fears of water births, what do they be?
Yes. I think the most common one we always get when we start discussing water births is my baby going to drown? And for us, it feels like such a simple question because we do it so a lot, and we've been doing it so long, and we've never had a baby drown. But just to get into the details, why a baby won't drown if it gets born through a water birth is because the baby's already in amniotic fluid, already in water inside, in utero. And when it gets born through the water into the water, it's like the baby doesn't really notice it's been born yet, because there's no change, nothing has changed for the baby yet. So as long as it's in the water, it's not being stimulated, it's there, it still gets oxygen through the umbilical cord, and it's actually fine, and it can do well. And then you as a midwife just gently, or sometimes the parents, just gently lift the baby up, put it on mom's chest, and then when the baby's exposed to the air pressure, the change of air pressure, and a little bit of a change in temperature, that's when the baby will start breathing. And then we just give baby a gentle rub on the back like we usually do, and they start crying and screaming, and and then they will start breathing on their own. So yeah, that's probably the most asked question about a water birth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never seen a baby drown.
Never.
It's understanding physiology
Yes.
also. So a baby won't breathe under the water because it goes from water to water, as you say. It's the same environment, and the lungs will only expand once it's exposed to the air. The change of the pressure, the temperature.
Yes.
So that is something reassuring.
Yes.
What is another myth that I have?
Another myth. I think because we're so passionate about water births, Mum also feels that that you have to birth in the water. And that's not the case of all. I always tell my mothers that I'm supporting during labor that it's there as a resource. You can use it, you don't have to use it. If you don't like water, if you don't like soaking at a bath, we can try a different form of water, whether it's in the shower or hot compressions or someone else, but you don't have to get in the water. You also don't have to stay in the water. You can get out at any stage. I've had quite a few moms at some stage that where we always say that once the mom's in the water, it's so comfortable and it has such a good effect, they don't want to get out. And that's why we then end up birthing the baby in the water. But I've had a few moms that right at the end, as they feel the baby's being born, then they're like, I don't want to birth in the water. And we're like, okay, we'll work with you. Drain the water or make them stand up. So it's really, it's all in the mom's control. It's not about us wanting a water birth or about the idea of I had a water birth. You just do whatever works for you. If you feel the water works and you want to stay, you that's great. If you want to get out at any stage, that's great. Often the fathers can also get in and support the moms in the water. I think they don't always like, and they're a bit fearful, and sometimes you can see pictures on social media where it looks like a bloody bath. And then I always explain to the dad, but that bloody bath happens much later. During the labor, we keep the water clean. Once the baby's born, the water is still very clean. It's only once the placenta, the afterbirth, if it gets born in the water, that's when it starts getting a bloody bath. So really, for the dads, they can get in, they can support the mothers. It's really a great experience for them to do it together in the bath. But then, we also have lots of births where the dad doesn't get in and support the mom in a different way. So it's all led by the mother and the couple of the baby. So exactly.
So that's a good thing to know and to realize. Like, if you're not 100% sure, like, would I like it or not, just have it there as an option if that's in your possibilities. And take it as it comes. What feels best in the moment. If you would want to have a water birth, what kind of preparations you would need?
I think first do a bit of your research and find out in your area if there's any facilities that this does water births, because there are some facilities that already has the path in place and everything in set, and you can just go to the facility with your midwife and birth the baby. Find out from your care provider if it's something they're comfortable, if it's something they would be comfortable to do for you. So find a care provider that has experience with water births and that feel comfortable for that. If it's a setting where you would be birthing at home, then you'd be either renting a pool or buying a pool. Sometimes we go to the store and we tell the mom, buy this specific, almost like a kiddie bath. If they're nice and high and nice and supported, then that's some things we can use. So speak with your provider, see what kind of resources they have available. If it is whether you need to rent a pool or buy a pool. Some pools also need liners inside. If it's, for example, a reusable pool that you rent, then you need to get a specific liner inside so it's a clean bath for you. And then at home, you need a few hoses, a pump to pump the water out afterwards, some connections for your taps, nothing fancy really. And then we used to putting salt in the water, just as a the way I was taught was that it changes the pH of the water and it makes the same as the amniotic fluid. But then also salt is sterilizing, so it can clean the water. We don't have a lot of research to support that you do need to birth in salt, but sometimes we still stick to that. I love the feeling of salt in water. It just makes the water softer, especially if you're in an area that has hard water.
Yes.
And then at your home, we always look at where to position the pool. So you want it so whether it's in your room or sometimes we put it in the dining hall, just somewhere where it's close enough to a tap and that your hose is long enough to fill up the bath. But then also again, how are you going to get the water out?
Yeah.
Whether it's back into the bath or the toilet or a drain outside. So just a little bit of planning and thinking about where's the best spot to set up a pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think that through.
Yes.
And do people sometimes use, in your experience, their own bath?
Yes, we have had. I remember one specific lady that we went to do a home birth, and we didn't really plan on doing a water birth, but because I know the benefit and the effect it has on the mom, I at some stage encouraged her, get into the bath. It will help you relax and pain-wise. And then it was the same situation where she didn't want to get out, and we just ended up birthing in her bath. Now, the general baths, most of the baths that we have in our homes are not wide enough to really be able to open up the hips, go into a deep squat, or open up the hips nice and wide. So often we try not use it because they're not wide enough. But sometimes you do get baths that are nice, maybe a circular bath or something that's better, and they were. So we use what we have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you also mentioned for facilities, there are facilities.
There are facilities that already have built-in baths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's far and in between, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
In Joburg, we're a bit lucky with options, perhaps.
Yeah.
But if you want to have a water birth in a hospital setting, that might be tricky.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's more your home birth mummies that have those options. I remember once in a small hospital I was working, I had a very open-minded unit manager, and she was, yeah, come do your births here, and we set up a bath in the maternity unit there.
Yes.
That was wonderful. That was a once event in the hospital unit. But yeah, hopefully it will become more the norm, that it's part of laboring that you can have water to use, you know.
I think it's been there for so long, the water birth. I have a friend that years and years ago, even before I knew about water births, had 2 water births with an obstetrician. And I thought it was such unusual at the time, but then later on I learned that a hospital had pools, and it was that specific obstetrician that did water births. So
yeah, amazing.
Sometimes it's just a bit of asking around and finding out, and doing your research, knowing your facts, and
exactly.
Yeah.
So Esther, we have to also talk, I think, about some. Is water birth for every woman, or are there contraindications for water birth?
Yeah, so I do also, so as much as it is the mom's choice to stay in the bath or get out, there are a few situations where we might recommend the mom also to get out if it becomes unsafe for baby or if it becomes unsafe for mom. So one of the circumstances would be if baby has pooed in the amniotic fluid. So if there's meconium in the amniotic fluid, we would encourage the mom rather to not birth in the pool, because that baby's already showing some signs of distress, so would rather not let the mom birth in the pool. Also, if the mom has infection, like a strep B infection, we would not birth her in the pool. And then for mom herself, if mom had some opioids like pethidine, and she becomes very drowsy and sleepy, we would not birth her in the pool. Because if she gets too drowsy and sleepy and it's difficult for her to get out of the bath, that might be dangerous. And then also if the mom's at risk of bleeding a lot afterwards, would also not birth in the pool, because if she bleeds and say she becomes unconscious in the bath, then it will be difficult for us to get her out. But I think that's why it's also so important to get a care provider that has experience with water birth. So that's not something you need to think about and worried about, but the care provider is there to ensure the safety of you and baby. So
yeah, exactly. And you mentioned infection, because I think that's also often a perceived risk with water birth.
Yes.
Should your water has been broken? Is that a
no
contraindication?
If your water has been broken, we usually say 12, 24 hours. So if it's a prolonged rupture of membranes, of breaking of the water, then we might also consider, because then you do become at risk of breaking the waters, of getting infection, sorry. Yes, then we'd also consider rather not birthing in the pool. Yeah.
So I think that's good to know, that there are sometimes, even if you have planned it so badly, that there might be some scenarios that we say rather not.
We just want a healthy baby and mom at the end, and try and minimize any risks that we have. So
exactly. So if for most women that want a natural birth, a water birth is a wonderful option.
Yeah, we would usually say if it is a low-risk pregnancy. So if you don't have any major concerns, you're healthy and your baby's healthy, then yes, you are a good mother to have a water birth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Any other things that you would like to share with the moms listening?
In terms of water birth,
how's your experience with the babies?
With the babies, yes, that's a good question. Yeah, they are so calm and relaxed when they get out. We don't have a lot of we can't really list a lot of benefits that it has for baby, but one of the benefits that I've just seen is that the baby's just so calm and relaxed, and it's different to a dry land birth, or when the mom births on the bed, because the baby is born through that gentle way of water to water, and then a slow lift and right back on mom's chest. And almost still seems like the baby doesn't know it's been born. It's just calm, it's safe in mother's arms, it's back on mom's chest where it can hear the heart rate. We usually put a warm towel or blanket over baby to keep baby warm. And we often need to encourage the babies to, come on, you need to cry a little bit now. You need to breathe now on your own. So just very, very gentle and calm for them. The other day we had a mom and the baby just fell right back to sleep after it was born. I'm like, hey, you up now?
That's amazing. So it's a very gentle experience for them.
For the babies,
In my personal experience also, the moms claim that their babies are very calm.
Yes.
And also growing up. So it shows you that it matters how you're born.
Also, it does.
Hey?
Yeah.
Gentle births are important, whether it's with or without water. That transitioning for babies.
It has a lifelong effect on them.
Yeah. So some definitely things to think about, like if you think about your baby's birth, you want to do the best for baby that can be gentle.
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely. I love water births too. Obviously, I'm a water woman.
Yes.
So, I wouldn't give birth in a rock pool or something though. Like that's the other extreme.
Yeah.
You see those extremes sometimes out there.
Yeah. But I think that's how it started, and a lot of moms didn't have other options at that stage. Now we have options.
Yes. Because I also know, like, hey, there are some things that you want to have some help if need be. Like I imagine a cord around the neck, for example. How has that been in your experience? As midwives, we need to always look out for that.
Yes, something even midwives can sometimes get quite nervous about. What I found that usually once the head is born, we do a quick check to see if we can feel cord around the neck. And what I learned in the end is it was just a simple maneuver, almost like a somersault to baby. So to somersault the baby underneath the mom, and then the cord detangles itself from the neck. So that was like a little trick I learned. But again, if you just, the baby doesn't stay underwater the very long. Baby's born, you gently lift the baby, and then you just detangle the cord around the baby's neck, and then it will, the oxygen will keep on flowing through the cord, stimulate the baby to breathe a little bit, and it's fine. Most cord around the necks, even for dryland vaginal births, are not an issue.
Yeah.
The ones that are issue, you'll pick up earlier enough on.
Exactly, so that's good to know. Yeah. So if it's twice around the neck, you'll probably pick it up that a baby doesn't engage properly, or there's some form of fetal distress already.
See it in baby's heart rate, or Yeah,
so that's very reassuring.
Yeah, so even in the bath, we do fetal monitoring for baby. We usually use a Doppler, and every 15 to half an hour, we still listen to baby's heart rate after a contraction to make sure that the baby's still coping well. So it's not that we place the mom in the bath and just leave her. We still need to monitor and make sure everything is going well.
Yeah, so know what's going on with that baby.
Yeah.
So those are just reassuring things to know.
Yes.
Yeah, and then what do you do with the placenta birth?
I think I've gone through phases. At some stages I did deliver it in the bath, and others did. For me, because birth is never ever the same.
Yes.
That's what I like about what I do. It's like you wake up now on your way to work, you don't know what you're gonna get. So it's never ever the same. And I think I just kind of play it at ear and see how the mom feels. So if she's comfortable in the bath and she wants to stay a little bit with baby, and the warm water is still nice and warm, and she's not quite ready to get out, then we can deliver the placenta in the bath. As I said, that's when the water becomes a little bit more reddish. But most of the times I usually just try and, once we've done the delayed cord clamping and the mom spent some time with baby on her chest, then we cut and clamp the cord, give baby to dad to do some skin to skin, help the mom out of the bath, and then we go deliver it on the bed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So it's just kind of what feels right at the moment. There's no right or wrong to that. So,
that's it. Yes. Yes. If it's in a bath, a built-in bath, you can get rid of the water quickly.
Yes, that's another option
right?
too.
And you can just do it.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times too. Also,
Yeah, it's so beautiful, Esther. I would choose you as a midwife any day. It just oozes that calmness and that confidence, and
thank you.
That any woman would deserves. So keep up that beautiful work. And if women that are listening would love to reach out to you, where can they find you?
They can have a look at my website, Midwives on Call, or Facebook is Midwife Ester, and Instagram. Otherwise, they can just send me an email at midwifeester@gmail.co.za.
Midwife Ester.
Yes.
Without the H.
Without the H.
Ester. I'll also put your details in the show notes.
Thank you very much.
So if someone out there wanting to make use of your services in Gauteng area, you're happy to travel, you do home births as well? Yes, we do.
We do. If we have good support and backup, then we do where we need to do here.
Awesome.
We try and help the moms.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much.
You're truly passionate about what you do. Keep the fire going.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Hope that was insightful for you, and that you learn about water birth, and that's also a real beautiful option to consider. Beautiful way for natural pain relief, relaxation, and for a gentle birth.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video, please share this with a friend who will benefit from this. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified whenever we release new videos like this on our channel. We'd love to stay in touch and keep you updated with all our latest content and resources to equip and empower you. So if you're a midwife or any type of birth and baby worker, go to sensitivemidwifery.co.za/free gift. If you're a mom, visit sisterlillian.co.za/free gift for more training and resources. That way we can keep you up to date when we release new episodes like this, plus a few other bonuses. You can also find the links I just mentioned in the show notes. Remember, you're making a big difference because you are shaping the future of humankind. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to journeying with you.